Oh, I forgot.
Activating combat mode. Bring it on.
Probably want attack up. Stop stealing my magic.
This'll do. Oh yeah.
Resolved.
Probably want... Well, I'll let that attack up. Master first. I'm not sure how much attack up I'm even gonna need. Submerge! My favorite Final Fantasy technique.
Take that. Here we go. How about this?
There we go, our first
Conflict
over
resolved.
the limit attacks. Death jump. I didn't know that was a thing. Death twister.
Activating combat mode.
Here we go.
Ow.
Bye now.
Stop it.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Heads up. Bye now. Take that later.
Death Twister is the worst game Milton Bradley ever made, but also the
Bye
best.
now. Take that. Heads up.
Just gotta play with the right people.
Hey. See it. Take that.
Conflict resolved.
Speaking of which, Solid, what are you doing later? Any plans?
Activating combat mode.
Got this new great game.
Taking you down a peg.
You're gonna love it.
Hey. Bye now. Here we go.
Here we don't go.
Oh no, you don't. Oh yeah.
Conflict resolved.
Nice. Energy level up. I'm hoping this
Activating
last
combat
chest is
mode.
right next to the enemy. No.
Heads up. Take that. Got him. Hey.
Need MP to kill the bees.
Taking you down a peg. Take that. Hey. Heads up. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Bye now. Take that later. Hey.
Ouch, ouch.
This'll do.
Don't care about no AP cost. Need MP.
Take that.
I had to
Oh,
use an
yeah.
ether. I was gonna die. Nice. 100,000 gil. It's free real estate. Just doubled my
Activating
gil.
combat mode.
This enemy is called Worm Elite. That's great.
How about this?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Better run for it. The power of soldier.
Holy moly, Cloud.
Heads up!
Conflict resolved.
Got him!
Alright. We got a fist ability. Now. We either have to level this up, or we can just fuse it right away. Yeah, there it is. Costly punch. It's time to have some fun. Now here's the question, can I put anything on Costly Punch? Probably not. It's just gonna, yeah. I can put Dash into Costly Punch, and it's still Dash. But I can't put Attack Up into Costly Punch, or into Dash. What about Libra? Oh, this could be something. But I can't put... If I could get a big attack boost on Libra, I could swap the attack boost to Libra and then put Libra into Costly Punch. But I don't think there's a way to get a big boost onto Libra unless I maybe... just combine Libras over and over. I want to max a Libra and see what it does. So, yeah. Check this out. Costly Punch. I have no attack boosts right now. Just the one that is on it already. Check this out. This materia isn't busted, I swear. This is totally normal.
Activating combat mode. Conflict
Totally
resolved.
normal. Totally normal damage. Ooh, Zeo Nut.
Activating combat mode.
Oh! Hate to see it.
Activating combat mode.
That would be interesting, honestly. I'm not 100% sure how they do it, but I'm not against the idea.
Conflict resolved.
Yeah, so costly punch is broken. Not broken in the traditional sense of really strong, but in the actual sense of it's broken. It just absolutely annihilates the game. We really don't have to worry about damage ever again. If I put my attack plus on, it will probably do max damage or close. Or if I just go up a couple levels, because I'm only level 45. And it also ignores defense, so it'll always do that damage.
Activating combat mode.
Now it does damage you to use it. Wow. But yeah, that's the only downside.
Activating combat mode.
Bring it on.
It doesn't only scale on your HP, does it?
Activating combat mode.
If it does, then never mind about the attack plus thing. God dang, these guys hurt.
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way.
I think the thing with Costly Punch is, like, it does leave you open to be hit, but the windup is too fast. Because, like, Ultima has a huge windup, if I remember correctly. And this one definitely has a bit of a windup, but it's not, you know, it's not that slow. It's pretty easy to hit things with it.
Activating combat mode.
Oh my god. Well, things got tough.
Activating combat mode.
It can also hit more than one enemy too, which is really silly.
Conflict resolved.
Later.
Alright, so now that we got our damage, I think it's probably time to start stacking HP again. Because we're only at 17k, we can go even further. I only have an HP plus, regular HP plus, but it's a start. Ooh, that's a big boy.
Activating combat mode.
Bring it on.
Jabberwock. It's a great name.
Warm-up's over.
I heard that it takes more HP now, but it's still not that much. It's only like 3,000. Uh-oh. Should have blocked. I was hoping I could cancel it. I should have just blocked. Well, that didn't work.
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way.
Stop it. I can just barely not survive it, too. Use the tarot cards. Maybe this is why I remember the tarot cards being a big deal.
Bring it on.
Ah, my wall just went up. Can you dodge the ultimate?
Combat mode.
I ain't even trying for that. I lived! No, I died.
Activating combat mode.
Oh, why do you like that dodge? Imagine dodging Ultima.
Better run for it. Concentrate.
Sephiroth canceled it for me. Stop. Dude, that... The tail is harder to dodge than frickin' Ultima. Oh, that... That's a big hit. Sephiroth! Please. Oh god, thank god I dodged that. Chocobo Bleeds! No! Chocobo played me. Oh no. What? He's at 0 health! He's cheating! Oh great. I should have just kept punching him. Yeah, I forgot.
Activating combat mode.
Such a cool enemy. Way cooler than like any of the bosses. That's why it's great that we're doing this post game for the Let's Play. Oh my god. 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 The back is an auto crit. Oh, that damage was crazy. Oh no. Alright, we should be fine now. That should be enough, right?
Conflict
Easy
resolved.
win. I forget what SP Turbo does. I mean, I'm imagining it just gets you more SP. Increases attack... Oh, increases attack impact by expending SP. Huh. But how much SP? In search of what? Ooh, hammer punch.
Activating combat mode.
Okay, punching that thing out of the air is great. I don't see my SP going down.
Conflict resolved.
Got him.
Huh. I don't see my SP going down when I attack. Does it not? Does costly punch not count? Okay. I don't know how much more damage it's giving me, but...
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way.
Conflict resolved.
The end.
Just love running around punching everything. Falcon punch. It's in the top left-hand corner during fights. Oh,
Activating combat
I see
mode.
Bring it on.
the other crazy thing about costly punch is it doesn't cost AP.
Resolved.
Costs HP, doesn't cost AP. So AP is pretty much meaningless to me now.
Activating combat
Out of
mode.
the way.
Out of the way. I'll punch him. Punch.
Later.
Punch.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah.
Activating combat mode.
Yeah, the ending is really amazing. One thing I love about this game is its physicality. It feels so good to punch stuff. Or even just swing the sword. It feels great too.
Activating combat mode.
That dude just spit on me and it did 11k damage. I don't know how I feel about that. Falcon.
Conflict
Pawn.
resolved.
Oh yeah.
I forget what hammer punch does in particular. Oh, it just costs 1,000,000 AP. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. I do wish this final dungeon was more interesting. It's almost all the same cave.
Activating combat combat mode.
Bring
Would have
it
been cool
on.
if the final dungeon was like a combination of a bunch of places or something. Which, I mean, that's basically how the missions work, but still. It would be cool if this one was
Conflict resolved.
a little different since it's the final special one. With the big super boss in it. Can't believe it's already 3 o'clock, holy cow. I mean, on one hand, I feel like we're blasting through the game so fast because I'm used to the PSP version. But on the other hand, I feel like time flies when I play this game because it's fun. It's Crystal Orb. Oh wow, better tarot card. Is this the best attack boost I have? I think it is. Alright, we'll leave that for now.
Activating combat mode.
He's got friends! It's the death machine. Ow, he meant it. That's true.
Activating combat
There are
mode.
so many missions. Even though this is going much faster, it's still slow in comparison to what it could be. But I never did all the missions in my PSP playthrough, if I remember correctly. I just did... I did most of them, and I did the important ones. But I don't think I did all of them, because I don't think I got all of the optional ones from the people.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the trade-off to the missions being very simple and the level design being very simple is that they could put in like 5 million missions, even on PSP. Oh yeah, I was gonna check the Protect Ring. Keeps Barrier and M Barrier active. That's really cool. The thing is, though, my big HP boost is on my wall materia, so I might as well keep my wall materia. For now. This gives us a new shop. It's probably the best port. Oh, it has the best post game of any Final Fantasy. I think in terms of like customization and like
Activating combat mode.
leveling up and watching the numbers go up, maybe. In terms of actual things to do, no. I mean, really, all you can do is missions. Like, it's definitely one of the funnest, but... you know. Other Final Fantasy games have mini
Activating
games
combat
and
mode.
tournaments and ultimate weapon
Conflict resolved.
quests
Oh
and
yeah.
a lot more post-game bosses. This really only has the final one. All these are just regular enemies. that are buffed
Activating
or whatever.
combat mode.
But no, like, this post game is very fun. Sure.
Activating combat mode.
What? My wall didn't go up. How would you rank
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way.
different Final Fantasy post games? I've always said that 10 is one of my favorites. There's just such a variety of the stuff you can do in 10. And it's massive. I know so many people that never beat 10 because they were too busy doing post-game stuff.
Activating combat mode.
Bring it on.
Also 12 is just crazy with the amount of stuff.
Conflict resolved.
But 12 is unfortunately like mostly just the hunts. I don't remember there being any like mini games or like, you know, there's no triple triad or any like real addictive game going on with 12. It's just mostly the hunt system, but the hunt system is really good. And then you have like 8, where the post game sucks, but triple triad is amazing. If we could take triple triad and put it in Final Fantasy X, it'd be the ultimate post game. That's the only thing 10 is missing, is like a fun replayable mini game, because all you really have is like the chocobo racer thing, which everyone hates. So if you had like, or even like Sphere Break, which I don't really like Sphere Break, but like some kind of like replayable minigame is kind of like what's missing in 10. Other than that, I'd call it like a perfect post game. And then 8's the opposite. 8 has a great minigame in Triple Triad, but the rest of the post game is garbage. So, and I mean, it's not the worst ever. Like the quest to get
Activating combat
the
mode.
final summon is cool, but that's really all there is. There's the stupid lake quest that's stupid. The stupid alien quest that's stupid. The chocobo farms, or the
Activating
chocobo
combat mode.
forest, which is just like super monotonous. Way better in 9.
Conflict resolved.
So.
Activating combat
And then there's
mode.
9, which it's kind of funny. So like 10 has the perfect post game, but no fun minigame. 8 has a really fun minigame, but a terrible post game. And then 9 is like right in the middle. It has okay post game, okay side minigame. Like the card game isn't as good as Triple Triad, but it's good. And the post game isn't as good as 10, but it's good. It's right in the middle.
Activating combat mode.
Hot and cold is fun, yeah, for sure. A little drawn out. It takes hours to get all the stuff in hot and cold. And especially some of those frickin' some of the things on the map are just like, good luck finding this. But 9 has a lot of like little stuff too that's great.
Activating combat
There was that
mode.
one side quest that was like not found till recently. My MP. Thank you. No. What the heck are these things?
Activating combat mode.
There was like a little a quest where you had to like take an item to somebody, and no one knew it existed till like recently. Thank you for the cutscene while I'm dying. Appreciate it.
Brace yourself.
Where would I rank 7? I don't know. Seven's weird. I think 7 has some of the best post-game bosses in the series.
Conflict resolved.
Later. Oh,
7
yeah.
also has a pretty cool, like... I always really appreciated Knights of the Round and, like, mine Materia and stuff. Pretty much all the Materia caves are awesome. Because it turns the post-game into, like, a sandbox where it's like, how ridiculous can we get? Which is always really fun to do in
Activating combat
RPGs.
mode.
I think RPGs worry too much about being balanced nowadays. And, you know, I'm the same way. Like, I want my game to be balanced, but there's something to be said about 7 post-game and how once you've done everything, the game's just like, okay, now you can just go ridiculous. Like Knights of the Round is completely ridiculous. It's not balanced in the slightest. It's a complete joke. Every enemy is a complete joke if you get it, but that's the point. Like, it's supposed to be so powerful that, like, you know, the game's over now. You got this, you win. So, like, there's something to be said for that, because it's still really fun. Like, it's so memorable. Everyone remembers Knights of the Round because of how strong it was. And then you have, like, chocobo racing and just a lot of, like, little mini stuff to do. There's no,
Activating
like...
combat mode.
I don't know if chocobo racing really counts for, like the same as, like, triple triad. I'll do chocobo racing every once in a while, but it's not exactly, like,
Conflict resolved.
addictive. It's the same race every time, so I don't know if anyone's like really going that hard into chocobo racing, but it is fun. Same as like the motorcycle and snowboard games. You can try to go for a high score, which is fun, but it's only going to last so long. Unless you try to do the time trials for the snowboard. If you try to do all the time trials for the snowboard, you'll be doing it for years, because my god, it's so hard. Like, the time trials are no joke. They do not mess around. They are so hard. And they're even harder in the Japanese version, apparently. So that's cool, but... yeah, there's a great variety in 7. There's, like, the Ancient Forest, which is a whole, like, dungeon that's optional. There's Fort Condor minigame. Everyone loves that, right? There's just so many different minigames in 7 that I think it deserves a shout for being one of the best. And then I still think Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon are probably like the most iconic
Activating
super
combat
bosses. So, yeah, I think 7 definitely goes up there as one of the best. I don't know if it beats like the addictive nature of Triple Triad or just the
Take out enemies
the
with
amount
one
of
blow.
stuff that's in 10, but
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah.
it's definitely up there. Then unfortunately, all the earlier games are a bit lackluster in terms of post-game content, but that's understandable.
Activating combat mode.
6 actually had more than I thought it would have.
Resolved.
But what's really cool about 6 is it's not exactly post-game content, but there's so much
Activating
optional
combat
content
mode.
in 6, it's nuts. I mean, you can, like, you can not play half the game and beat it. It's kind of wild.
Activating combat mode.
The rest of the game's not so much. You're lucky to get 1 or 2 super bosses that
Activating
are
combat
of
mode.
varying quality. Some of the old super bosses are a bit strange. They're more like puzzles than super bosses. No, you're kidding. No, there was post-game in the earlier games. It's just,
Activating combat
like I said,
mode.
they're varying quality.
Hey, Sephiroth?
Hey, Sephiroth.
Conflict resolved.
Pop on pop. Also, it has to be said because I know I'm going to get a comment about it if I don't say it. Technically, actually, none of the Final Fantasy games have post-game because the game ends when you beat the final boss. I know I'll get a comment about that. Every time I say Final Fantasy VII has post-game, I get some, actually, it's not post-game. So, yes, technically it's not. Everyone in the community calls it post-game because the idea is that you do it after you beat the final boss because it's harder than the final boss. But technically it's not technically it's part of the regular standard game because when you beat the final boss, the game ends. I would say that'll save me a comment, but it probably won't. Commenters have selective hearing. They'll say it anyways. Apology video when? Where is this Can I get an apology video for this chest placement from the developers? We are sorry for placing this chest in the worst spot ever. Wow. Wow. It's literally... Wow.
Activating combat mode.
Grandpa! Oh my god, that damage.
Bringing out the big guns.
Well, that's the thing. Post-game is what you decide it is. Hey! That's damage. Post-game is whatever the community decides to call it, you know.
Wow.
It's...
You're in for it now.
To me, it's what you do when you're done with the game. So what do you do in Final Fantasy VII when you beat Sephiroth? You do Golden Saucer, Chocobo Racing, Emerald Weapon, Ruby Weapon, Ultimate Weapon quests, stuff like that. Other people would say it's specifically stuff that's harder than the final boss that you would not do until you beat the final boss. Other people would say it's only New Game Plus. Like, if you have to beat the game and then you still have control, that's post-game. I disagree with that, but some people say it's that. I mean, I could say technically, because the word is post-game, it should be after the game, but... No, to me, it's just whatever you do after you're done with... After you beat the final boss. What's the next step after you beat the final boss? What do you see people doing when they beat the final boss? Like, technically, Triple Triad is not post-game, but it's what a lot of people do after they're done with the game.
Brace yourself.
Swing, 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 swing. You play another game. Actually, God of War Ragnarok is post-game because I played it afterwards.
Activating combat mode.
This sandwich is post-game because I ate it after I was done. Dude, I freaking love Final Fantasy VII post-game. Had peanut butter and jelly. I was chomping on that post-game during the credit sequence. Final Fantasy VII is so delicious.
Prove your...
Ow! Conberry! Haven't got him in a while. Oh, Cactuar! How could you do this? We're friends.
Taking you down a peg.
I actually haven't tried this
Bye
yet.
now.
I don't know if it really does any more damage though. Actually, yeah, I think it does. I mean, setting up for the punch does more damage. It's not really worth it though. It's better just to spam it.
Better run for it.
Imagine doing this fight without break HP limit. Or break damage limit. Oh, my eyes. So bright.
You're in for it now.
Gotta have a lot more than that soon. I think I healed. Books. The power of
Bring out the
books.
big guns. Concentrate. Got him.
Conflict resolved.
Holy moly. Pulling out the big books. Alright, come on HP up. Level up faster. Wow, Sniper Eye gives you always crit. Wizard Bracelet absorbs fire, ice, and lightning. I mean, I'll take forever crits. Magical punch? I don't remember that. Is it like costly punch but does magic damage? Bum, bum, bum.
Activating combat mode. Conflict resolved.
Yeah, so I guess
Oh,
we're just
yeah.
doing max damage from now on. 80,000 SP! Okay.
Activating combat mode.
Hello, robots. Goodbye, robots.
Conflict resolved.
Yeah. Welcome to Costly Punch the game.
Activating combat mode.
Now I do agree.
Conflict resolved.
I do agree with what someone was saying earlier about how, like, because of the new combat system, you could actually get away with using other stuff that isn't Costly Punch. But because I'm trying to kind of speedrun this to the end so that I can start my hard mode playthrough, Costly Punch is by far the easiest way to just get right to max damage. like, yeah, it's really busted. But I do like how with this new combat system, and especially like the Buster Sword thing, you could probably actually do some setups with other things that would work even better, you know. Yeah, there's a hard mode and there's also a New Game Plus mode. The plan is to just get to the super boss and beat him on normal. And that'll be the end of the Let's Play. And then we're going to do a 100% playthrough on hard and probably New Game Plus also. And get all the trophies. That's the plan. No, it's just hard difficulty. It's not like hard mode. Genesis, your mic's muted.
Brace yourself!
Uh-oh. I missed. What? I disagree.
Activating combat mode.
Better run for it!
My boy. Ow. So much damage. I know, it's so cool. All of them are so cool.
What's this?
What's this? What's this?
You're in for it now! Concentrate.
Oh no.
Better run for it!
Good luck.
We're getting to the point now where I can just barely survive stuff. It's getting a little spooky. Oh!
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah. So yeah, like I said back at the beginning of the playthrough, the post game truly gets insane. Like, suddenly I have to be doing 99,999 damage with every punch, and it still takes a while to finish the fights. You know, like, it's crazy. What did I just get? I forget. I got something. I don't remember what. Oh, Magical Punch. Oh, it expends MP. That's cool. Escort guard. How's it going, Dino? Hope you're doing well. appetizer to tide you over until rebirth? How long are you gonna be playing this game?
Activating combat mode.
You have to play it real slow. Okay. Guess I'll have to get rid of this for now.
Activating combat mode.
Oh my god. I need vitality. Right. We might be yikes. I might need to level up some vitality pluses.
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way.
Things are just doing too much damage. Or I just need to get good and dodge. Of course, dodging bullets is hard. How do you grind, Moogle?
Activating combat mode.
And don't send me to any weird websites. In fact, you tell me, because I'm not Googling how to grind a Moogle.
Activating combat mode.
Bring it on.
Oh, is there? How do you get it? Ow! How's it going, Turbo? Do one mission a day, and this game will last you almost a whole year.
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way.
That's a good idea. 2, 4, 1. I should do that.
Warm-up's over.
Prove your...
I'll do it. Just let me punch you once.
Conflict resolved.
Got him.
Let me punch you once, and then you can shoot me as much as you want. Maybe I take off SP Turbo. I don't need it anymore. Start leveling up Vitality ++.
Activating combat mode.
Bring it on.
I'll do it. Got it. Nice magic defense.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah.
I punched through that. You need fist defense. There's probably one more over here. Moogle Amulet. Does that improve it even more? I think... Yeah, that's just to get them, so... We're good on that.
Activating combat mode.
Oh!
Conflict resolved.
Triple kill. Oh, the chest is over there.
Activating combat mode.
No, I asked where to get Moogle. No worries. This guy is significantly easier.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah!
No, you're good. I know. I know. Can't hear everything. Keeps end barrier alive. Oh wow, that's pretty good. Yo, Seraphic! Thank you for the gifted sub to Hate and all. Appreciate you. Okay. Quick detour. 241. Two. Wait. Like this here? Yeah, okay, so I gotta get through all these first. But these should be incredibly quick. And I could probably skip the chests also and just go.
Activating combat mode.
Stop it.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah!
Activating combat mode.
That's
Conflict resolved.
something. See you later.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, I have high jump already. I was using it before I got punch. Before I got Falcon Punch. Is there a way to cheese Moogle further than just having the thing? Hatenal?
Activating combat mode.
Ooh, that's nice. Maybe I shouldn't skip the chest.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah!
Because that's actually... nice. I didn't expect something that nice from
Activating
this
combat
early of a
mode.
mission. Punch grass! I'm not above punching leaves. Can you stop?
Conflict resolved.
Later!
Do mission 1-1 with Ronald or very high HP. And just sit. Well, I don't think that would really be any faster, because
combat
when I got
mode.
Moogle, he mastered everything in one shot.
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah!
So, like, I mean, yeah, I guess technically you could get other things to do. You could you could go do it, but other than, like, for the sake of this playthrough, it wouldn't really be faster. It would just be with less effort. Oh, that's how it works. Okay. I just happened to get the
Activating combat mode.
big boy roll the first time.
Conflict
Oh, yeah.
resolved.
Yeah, I guess then that would be something just... Yeah. Would be an AFK strat. I mean, AFK strats are always nice to have. But for our purposes, not as helpful. Especially since I'm only level 50. I'm only level 49, so it's smarter to, like, go up levels while I'm trying to do it, you know?
Activating combat mode.
2 birds with 1 stone. 2 birds with 1 punch. I didn't plan that, but
Conflict
yeah.
resolved.
it fit perfect. That is true. I could get lucky and just roll some Zac levels too. I don't know. Like I said, for our purposes, maybe not so much, but if you're watching this and you want an easy way to grind, go to 1-1 with Ronald, come back an hour later, get a couple levels, get some Materia levels.
Activating combat mode.
9,000 IQ.
Conflict
Oh, yeah.
resolved.
I would imagine you have to at least get some XP for it to roll. Now, I would also imagine it's pretty rare if your XP is really low. But I do not know for sure. Now, the materia levels, on the other hand, those seem like really random. I'll go a while without getting any and then get a ton in a row. I like these missions. They're very straightforward. The reels decide it, but you get a better shot of getting a level up reel if your XP is
Bring it
high.
on!
Conflict resolved.
So like instead of just getting 10,000 XP and then you go up a level, the closer you get to 10,000 XP, the more chance you have for it to roll a level up, basically. And then once you get up to 10,000, it's like an auto, it'll just roll it like right away. Now the actual numbers, I don't know, I just came up with the number 10,000, but you get what I'm saying. Like the closer you get to the max, the more chance you have for a level up to roll.
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way!
Conflict resolved.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, I punched those balls right out of the sky. kind of makes playthroughs of this game almost feel like
Activating
a
combat mode.
roguelite or something. I feel like every playthrough of this game would
Oh yeah!
go very differently. It's just like so much RNG in the general mechanics.
Activating combat mode.
Let's go and go get it. Welcome.
Conflict resolved.
Yeah, this is kind of why the hard mode playthrough isn't going to be part of the Let's Play. Because this is what hard mode's going to look like for like 20 hours. It's just blasting through because there's just so many missions. Yeah, this is what I have so far. Mostly just Costly Punch, and then my wall with my HP plus. All of this is kind of negligible at the moment. I'm just leveling these up. And Kuraga's there because Kuraga. Try Thundaga. And my goal right now is to level up Vitality up to hopefully put Vitality into maybe Kuraga. And then level up this HP plus to put it into wall to get it higher.
Activating combat mode.
Bring it
And
on!
I was going to try to put attack into Costly Punch, but I don't need it because I'm already doing max damage.
The end!
Because Costly Punch is busted. Shinra Beta Plus? What that? Oh wow. That's nice. Yeah, Materia Fusion is basically the entire postgame.
Activating combat mode.
It's how you get everything required to do postgame. Whether it be building up big stat boosts on Materia or making stuff like Costly Punch.
Conflict resolved.
Got him!
Like, one of the easiest things you can do to help with postgame is level up a bunch of HP pluses and then fuse them into something you're already using, like Wall. So you can get a huge... You basically get the benefits of an HP plus, but on a materia that you're already using. Electrocute. I don't know what that does. Yeah, Costly Punch you make by getting a punch materia, which you don't get until pretty late in the post game, and then combining it with some stuff. But to be fair, all the punch stuff is pretty strong. You don't need Costly Punch. Costly Punch is just the best one.
Activating combat mode.
Later! Hack!
Conflict resolved.
The end!
I don't know what the Kaiser Knuckles do either.